The U.S. government has given billions of dollars to businesses in an effort to curb the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The government will begin to pursue recouping these funds in 2021. Aggressive penalties will be imposed on companies that do not follow regulations and guidelines for proper use of these funds. Criminal charges are already being levied on fraudulent use. Don't suffer again. Get a customized business operations success suite from Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services for your company today. BOSS packages include entity formation, payroll, accounting and bookkeeping, tax planning, tax filings, and quarterly strategy sessions to minimize your tax liability, increase efficiency, and maximize your profits. Make your appointment today at elite8financial.com. Get the guidance, tools, and protection your business needs now. Get BOSS. Get behind the shield.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
I paid the call to be born.
Location. Give me a second, huh?
You're muted.
I'm muted?
No, you're not.
Okay. So this is only our second live on location. So y'all got to bear with us because we have the whole new production team in here and everything. We have RSN 30 Productions shooting. Let me know if you could in the comments because we didn't have time to do like acoustics or whatever. Let me know if I'm bouncing off the wall, echoing or whatever. And if so, I'll turn my mic down. But welcome to Boss Talk Radio. We have an exciting show today. If you are in business, if you know someone in business, share the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Elite 8 Financial /Boss Talk Radio. But today we're going in about working with the government. A lot of you, especially the small business owners, a lot of you have stressed yourself trying to get, thank you, Brene, welcome to the show. Oh, by the way, if you are tuning in from Facebook, be sure to give StreamYard permission to use your name or whatever, and let me know where you're watching from so I can shout you out and shout out where you're coming from appropriately. You can put your business name too. I'll give you a free shout out on that. But so talking about the working with the government, here's the thing. A lot of you stress out about trying to get family and friends to support you. Some of you have the nuances of proximity competition. But in an ever-shrinking global economy, one of the most overlooked opportunities is working with government. So today what we're going to do is provide you guys with the information necessary on what you need to do to condition and position your business to work with government entities, how to become HUB certified, MWE, you name it. We have the experts and the gurus in the building. Not only are we going to show you that, we're also going to show you how to get funding. We're going to show you how to grasp the necessary resources and programs to really put your business on the right track. Because some of you out here kind of just in the wind, you know, doing it off of instinct or whatever, you're putting the sweat equity there. We're going to help you elevate the results a little bit quicker. So when we come back, we're going to go ahead and pay some bills. When we come back, this is going to give you an opportunity to get your pen, get your paper, share the video, leave your name and everything, and grasp this information. And when we come back, I'm going to introduce you guys to my expert panel. See you right after this.
The main reason I chose to use Elite 8 Tax Preparation Services was mainly because of the certifications they have received. George and his crew have multiple certifications, and I felt very comfortable in switching from my previous tax preparation company to his company. I have extreme confidence in my tax return this year. His attention to detail was amazing, and I felt like nothing was going to be missed. And with my job and being an independent contractor and being a private business owner, there are so many pieces of the puzzle, and I didn't want any of those things to be missed. And believe me, I believe that they found it. Get behind the shield.
Why buy pieces to the puzzle when you can purchase a proven system for less? Elite 8 Tax Pro Solutions was perfected from errors. Now you can eliminate the learning curve by simply following our proven system for success. You'll benefit from brand recognition, success coaches, cloud-based software, award-winning marketing strategies, and more. Get out of that boring job and create the freedom you want with a proven company. Go to elitepts.com to see customized options and get started now.
Welcome to Boss Talk Radio, the #1 online business and entrepreneurial talk show. Brought to you by Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services.
Boss Talk Radio, keeping it real, yeah, that's for sure. I said a Boss Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. He the boss.
He gon' fix your situation like there ain't no time for wasting. We ain't playing when we saying
he the boss.
And if you ever have a problem, he gon' show you how to solve it. Listen in and he'll show you he the boss.
Talk
Here's your host, the Texas tax expert, George Dandridge.
Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. He the boss.
So, got a question already, but they hit me on my phone. I don't know why they thought I was going to look down. But yes, Dr. Guest, you can share the video from my personal page, not from the Boss Talk group. And that prompts us, if you have not joined the Boss Talk Radio group, be sure to go ahead and do so, because at some point you're not going to be able to see it from my personal page. Also, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, Elite 8 Financial / Boss Talk Radio. So, as promised, man, the information we have for y'all today, we extended the show to 90 minutes, and I don't even know if that's going to be quite enough to get it in. But first, we want to bring to you guys Miss LaShaunda Renee. Are you there? I think she fell off the camera. We'll come back to her. Let's bring in Mr. Aaron Cartwright. How you doing, sir?
Howdy. I'm having a little bit of connectivity issues. So if I appear to like freeze or something, it's me. I'm going to pop out and pop back in. So I'll do the best I can. But how's life? And I'm definitely here to, make it happen.
Let's do it. So tell everybody about your background. By the way, if you are in Texas, don't bother calling Aaron, because he's my business attorney and I'm possessive, and he's my favorite litigator. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so he has a passion about contracting and government and taking people to court. So Aaron, tell them about yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Can you hear me okay?
George, hold on 1 second. I'm going to pick up a different connection and I'll be right back in.
Okay, let's go back over to LaShaunda. Let's see if she's back on camera there. Hey, LaShaunda, how you doing?
I'm well, George. How are you?
I'm awesome, and I'm excited to have you back. You're becoming a regular. I'm going to have to make you a co-host on the show. So if you guys have been following Boss Talk Radio for a while, you've probably seen LaShaunda Renee. You first seen her when we introduced the PPP programs and everything. She is one of our CDFI partners, but I'll let her tell you about her background and her organization.
Well, thanks so much, George. It's always a pleasure. I'm representing TruFund Financial Services. I'm our Vice President, Managing Director for our Texas operations. We are a New York-based CDFI, now serving Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area and the Houston metropolitan area. And we serve small businesses in two ways, small business lending as well as business education. And so one of the pillars of our programming, both on the lending side as well as business education, is actually contracting. So helping small businesses, specifically entrepreneurs of color and women-owned businesses and businesses in low and moderate income communities, be able to access capital so that they can access contracts with government entities. So I'm so excited to talk to you guys about TruFund, the work that we do, and our connectivity to the contracting community.
And I'm telling everybody, they better have their pens and everything ready. I think we have Aaron back. Aaron, are you there?
I'm here. Can we clearly hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead and drop some of your background.
My background? Yes. So I am a business, securities, and construction litigator in the state of Texas. I've got a deep interest in government contracting in general. I believe everything that the last person said, and that it is a wonderful access to capital for small minority-owned businesses. At one point, I ran a segment, and it will be restarted at some point here soon, just in a slightly different format, called Municipal Money Monday, in which we reviewed 60 contracts, or excuse me, government contracts for 60 cities in the North Texas area. So I'm going to get that one restarted at some point in time here soon.
The good part about that is that it's kind of fell off because you've been busy. So congratulations on the success there. And not to be remiss, in the studio with me, the one and only super financial educator. You've seen her in Forbes, on NBC, Miss Sharita Humphrey. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm so glad to be in studio. Thank you for having me back. I am Sharita Humphrey. Like you said, I'm an award-winning finance expert and money mentor. I am a new Google for Startups accelerator mentor, helping startups to really be able to not only grow their business, but also to solve our world challenges. But a little bit of background about me. I have a background as a government auditor and analyst. I was with the state government, left my government position, and now I teach others, especially primarily Black and brown women, to really how to be able to start, grow, and scale their businesses. So I'm super excited to be here.
And your company has been making some major moves lately. So for those of y'all that don't know, Sharita's actually behind the topic of today's show, because she hit me up and she's like, okay, George, what all do you do and everything? Like, her team has been on it. They're scouring contracts and everything. And I was like, Sharita, the thing is that a lot of people don't even consider the government as a client. And she was like, oh yeah, well, we're going to change that. Yes. We're going to get this money. So, yes. So here we are in the studio. And thank you for hosting us here. We're live in Houston at the Cannon Building, and there's an energy in this building when you work in. Like, this is one of the first office places I went to where there was like showers and everything over adjacent from the coffee and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, they're working it here. They're trying to get it. So, so welcome to Boss Talk Radio. When we come back, we're going to hear a little bit about everybody's current programs, what they're doing. Actually, before we go to break, Sharita, let's tell us about some of the current work that you're doing.
So some of the current work that I'm doing is, of course, I just mentioned working with Google for Startups. But one of the things is my business partner and I, we started last year an accelerator to help Black and brown entrepreneurs who may not qualify for your Goldman Sachs. So we want to help them really prepare. So we are helping. This is a national agnostic. So we work with various industries. We just finished up our demo day, George, back in March. It was really great. A lot of them got to connect with angel investors, venture capitalists, and other crowdfunding platforms. So this is one of the projects that you guys can definitely be checking out. Applications will actually open next month, and we kick off in September. So really looking forward for those 10 powerful weeks of business education, knowledge, and continuing to build some amazing partners across the country. And
Aaron, are you still there? You have some current projects going on as well. I know you're doing a lot of research. We've been talking about how to implement smart contracts and everything for some work you're doing. Tell us a little bit about some of the things you have going on.
So currently trying to figure out how to put construction contracts on a blockchain. So ordinarily, whenever you've got a contract whenever you need your home repaired or renovated, you get a contract with a contractor. And I just want to make sure that there's a way for the contractor to feel comfortable knowing that the project is funded before they go into it, and the customer to know that the contractor won't have any funds released until certain items are checked off. So that's been my current curiosity.
Cool. And then LaShaunda, you have 3 states that you're personally running right now? Tell us about some of the programs that you're doing right now.
So I'm personally responsible for one state, the great state of Texas. However, TruFund does serve several states across the South, as well as in the New York metropolitan area. So we serve businesses in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, and in an auxiliary way, Georgia and New Jersey, and as well, of course, New York. So, we have so many things going on with TruFund. We're currently in the throes of PPP and helping businesses get connected to that, but in wrapping that program up. But as far as contractors are concerned, we actually have a program that we've developed over the years with our working with small businesses that are specifically in that arena called True Access. And it's focused on really working with groups of businesses and small group cohorts, really focused on some of the fundamental aspects of business education as it relates to being a strong small business. But then also we take it the next step to focus on what does it mean to be a quality contractor, right? What are those characteristics? What's that information that you need to know? What parts of your business do you really need to shore up, be clear about, and have ready to present, whether it's through a bid to an actual entity or whether it's to a potential partner that you're wanting to do a joint venture with. You want to have all of your information really clear, really organized, and ready to be presented forth. So our program really helps those businesses that are participating have that fundamental education and knowledge as it relates to being a small business and a contractor with government entities as well as large corporate entities. But then also, how do you then prepare yourself and position yourself so that you can access capital, which is one of the biggest barriers to being able to not only secure the contracts, but to be able to execute on it. It's one thing to get a contract, it's a whole nother thing to perform on that contract. And so this program, our True Access Contractor Education Program, really helps to build the bridge for the participants so that they understand how to move from where they are to where they want to be so that they can grow and scale their business through the use of government contracts.
Unbelievable resource. So as you can see, I got the experts in the building today ready to bring you this information. So go ahead and write down your questions, put them in the chat box, put them on the Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching from. If you're doing a playback, if you're listening to the playback, just put hashtag playback before you leave your question or whatever. And one of our panelists and or my director of operations will make sure we get answers to you, because this is all about making sure you guys have the resources. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, go ahead and pay some bills. And when we come back, we're going to get into the hot seat and get this information to you. See you right after this.
So one of the questions was, how was our experience in comparison to with Elite 8 in comparison to other tax professional services? And I think I'll just kind of turn that over to my husband and what he would think.
Being from the military services, during the past, I would always use a online service throughout the military. And one thing I didn't like about it is not able to speak to someone live. And since I've been with Elite 8, having that person live in front of me has been great reward. If me and my wife had to recommend Elite 8 to a family or friend, one of the strong attributes would be competence. As a leader in the United States military, I've always been competent. And since my post-retirement, when I'm utilizing a business, I want to make sure they're competent in their answers and their tax preparation.
Get behind the shield.
Ready to begin your business? Should you be an LLC or a C corporation? How do you track the cost of goods versus operating supplies? What are your depreciable assets? Are you structured to obtain business credit? Not sure? Get a boss. An individual business operations success suite from Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services will position your business for success and avoid the pitfalls of startups. From registering with your state, operating agreements, bookkeeping, tax filings, and more, Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services can be your growth partner at every level of your business. Schedule your needs assessment today at www.elite8financial.com/boss or by phone at 469-412-0056.
Knowledge, integrity, security, service. Get behind the shield.
All right, we're back live in the studio with Miss Sharita Humphrey, and also we have LaShaunda Renee with TruFund and the Texas government litigator, Mr. Aaron Cartwright. So he was like, "Hey, wait a minute, that's not." I forgot the dragon's name, sir. But so what we want to talk about right now is we were talking off camera while the commercial was on. And Sharita was like, well, yeah, a lot of people are hitting me up in my inbox wanting to know how I get a government contract or whatever. And what we found is that the information is readily available, but people don't know where to go to get it. So tell us about what got you interested in working with government.
I just knew that I wanted to expand my business, and the biggest way to do it, as someone who used to work for the government, I decided I wanted to make the government one of my biggest clients. And I've secured my the first bid that I did for 2021. I secured it in the first quarter. Sent it in January. Secured it in February. And so for me, I just wanted to share that, so that other people, especially because LaShaunda mentioned something, especially people of color, because that was all of those things that I shared that I won my government contract. They were like, how do I do this? What information do I need to do? How do I get started? And so one of the people had no idea. I was just mentioning things like PTAC. George and I were just talking about this off camera. So a lot of things. And LaShaunda, I was over here trying to sneak and take notes. I was over here trying to sneak and take some notes when you were saying about this TruFund, because I definitely want to continue to support and share what you guys are doing. The True Access really piqued my attention, and just to know, Aaron, what you're doing, it's like literally George has brought a dream team together, but definitely want to know more about what you guys are doing, LaShaunda, so that way I can share it with my ecosystem, because George and I believe in an ecosystem, not just a strong network. So that is one of the things that most people are like, I don't think I have a product or service that I can sell to the government. And when I told them, I said, you know what, Sunkiss got a $30 million contract. And they're like, wait, Sunkiss, yes, the one that you see in Walmart, Target, all of your all of your favorite stores. There is a product. You have a product or service that you can sell to your city, state, or federal government. So definitely, this conversation is definitely one that needs to continue. So George, thank you for bringing this conversation and making this happen today.
Yeah, my whole mission is just to play connector. I love doing that. And Aaron, you have to deal with a lot of litigation and whatnot. And I think that bread and butter. Say again?
It's kind of my bread and butter.
Right. And I could be wrong, but I think that one of the biggest mistakes that are often made is that the framework isn't laid before the business starts. What are some of the things people should kind of look out for or just do to make sure that prior to finding themselves in a fulfillment situation, that they have their bases covered and that they're protected?
So I know that I'm going to be echoing a lot of what LaShaunda has to say, but one of the things that you have to make sure that you're able to do is perform. And the contracts are very, very clear. Government contracts are extremely clear because they spend a lot of money writing down all the details of exactly what they're looking for. But the fastest way to find yourself sideways with any government is to not be able to perform. You know, if they say that, you know, you're mowing 50 acres and, you know, you need 2 batwing mowers or 2 like 12-foot batwing mowers or something to do it, don't roll out there with a set of lawn mowers and 3 guys. That's not going to get it done.
So basically, if you saw the movie War Dogs, don't think you're going to pull that off.
Right.
I saw that. Okay. There is something to be said about the War Dogs movie in that they're kind of correct, except for obviously the part where they do the, you know, illegal stuff where they go out and get those manufactured. The contracts are, again, very specific about where they want the stuff to be sourced from. But yeah, if you have to find a subcontractor in order to fulfill a contract, as long as you can fulfill the contract, go for it.
So if I could hop in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to build on what was just said. So, you know, the opportunity to grow your business through contracts is tremendous. However, that performance piece is really important, right? And so doing your research, really understanding what you have signed up for and, you know, understanding where, you know, that where those T's need to be crossed, where those I's need to be dotted, but then also thinking maybe a little bit differently about how you pursue these types of contracts. If this is your first time and you're looking to perform or acquire a government contract, consider either subbing through another larger entity so that you can get some experience under your belt, because you do need a capability statement that really speaks to what you have been able to do in the past. And so that's a great way to build up that resume, if you will, of projects. As well, consider teaming up with other businesses that are in your field or that have complementary services so that you can qualify and actually perform and meet the requirements of whatever that particular contract is. So just being really, really clear about what your capacity is and where you don't have capacity, finding either partnership and or some way to team up with another business entity so that you can perform, that you can get that that experience. So that you can continue to then grow and scale your level of contracts, or at least the number of contracts that you're able to maintain at any given period. And for us, as a lender, your performance and your experience is very important because that speaks to us in terms of your ability to do that level of work and your ability, therefore, to collect a certain level of revenue and then repay a certain level of loan. So all of those things are really connected. And your ability to access capital, to have the dollars that you need to either hire, have the equipment that's necessary, or whatever other materials you might need is going to be really, really key when it comes to that performance that was discussed. You can't expect to be paid before you perform on these contracts. You have to actually put forth the effort, put forth the resources, and then you're essentially getting reimbursed. So your ability to have that capacity on the front end, be very clear about what is needed, and then be able to then utilize those resources in such a way that satisfies that contract are really going to be key to setting yourself up for success moving forward.
There was like LaShaunda, she does this so well. She's took you all from kindergarten all the way through a doctorate degree.
Right.
And what I'm going to do, because I don't want anybody to get left behind on this, so I'm going to have LaShaunda make a U-turn and pick up a couple of things that she spoke on so you guys clearly understand what they are. Because what I'm finding is that oftentimes, and there was no clearer, like if you looked at doing a PPP or EIDL loan and you were one of those many people that comes like, hey, they want tax returns and I don't have this, or can you put a P&L together for it? That's not how none of this works when it comes to getting money. Like, yeah, they threw those bags out there, but if you go and see LaShaunda, she's going to turn you around at the door. So first thing that she mentioned that I want you guys to, I want you to, if you would, speak on again. She talked about having a capability statement. Can you please elaborate on that?
Sure, absolutely. And for anyone who doesn't have a capability statement, or they're looking to maybe refine or update their capability statement, as a part of our True Access Contractor Education Program, which starts June the 10th, and there are still a few spots left. So, George, if you have any folks reach out, I'd be happy to send over the registration link for that. For any businesses that are interested in participating, it is free of cost. We offer this program as a result of generous sponsorship, so it's to no cost to the actual business community. But a capability statement is essentially a form of a business resume that allows entities to have a sense of who you are as a business, be clear about what your experience is, and to understand what NAICS codes or industry codes are associated with the work that you do, so that they can align their different projects or contracting opportunities with the type of work that you do, as well to be able to understand if you have any level of certification. So essentially, are you qualified? Do you have experience? And how long have you been in business? How can I get in contact with you? So it's a visual business resume slash business card, in a way, that you should always have on deck and ready to share with potential procurement officers, as well as any partners that you might have. Or if you're going to be looking to be a sub on a larger project, that's something that you would need to provide, as that documentation would be required of that prime or the larger contractor to the government entity. So it's a great way to demonstrate the level of work that you have done previously, your capacity broadly, as well as your level of expertise, and all the things that are important to a potential contract entity, or potential partner or investor.
And I want to give this guy to you guys this way. If Oprah Winfrey's team called you at 10 a.m., wanted to invite you to the show, and told you to send over your media kit, but they needed it by noon, you don't have time to go and do one.
Right.
You have to have this ready to go. So this is the thing with the capability statement, because regardless of what type of business you have, this is just one of those things that you have to have ready to go. And I want to kick this ball over to Erin on this. When it comes to working with the government, a lot of people only consider things like construction or something in that field. Can you enlighten us about some of the many different opportunities there are to work with government?
Sure. Outside of the ordinary construction stuff, there are massive contracts for things like party supplies. The city of Dallas buys tens of thousands of dollars a year in party supplies, just because they have to keep their employees, happy. Cakes, cakes, napkins, plates, forks, all that stuff. There are actual contracts out there for party supplies. There are, police departments. My show specifically excludes police departments, but we'll talk about them right now. Police departments require, it's a thing. It's just my thing. But police departments require ammunition. They require services for repairs of those vehicles. You've got things like mowing contracts. Obviously that gets closer to construction. Signage for city roads is another big one, and one of the larger ones is also uniforms. So hats. I was talking to someone earlier this week, and they were telling me that they were a graphic design. They were building themselves as a graphic design artist. They were saying they printed shirts and graphic tees and all that other stuff. I told them, it's like, change your mindset. Switch the way you think about it, and instead of just being a graphic designer, you're now a screen printer. There are government contracts for that. City of Dallas, Parks and Recreational shirt. The government pays for that somewhere. Somebody has to do it, and so those contracts can number into the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars.
And Sharita, you are having your team like just scour opportunities for people right now. Can you, I don't know if you've like really done it long enough to just know this, but like, can you offer me some solution as to why people aren't seeking out these resources?
I think one of the things, and I'm just going to kind of piggyback off of what LaShaunda said, and then throw it to Erin. But one of the things is, and I think LaShaunda mentioned it, just what she said, she took us from government contracting from A to Z. But one of the things is, a lot of times these certifications, once they kind of know about them, and I'm pretty sure LaShaunda, please jump in. Most people are like, that certification process seems like a whole lot, but what they don't realize, and I'm pretty sure Aaron is like on his seat, like I can't, what they don't realize is once you have and completed one, and you can get through that certification, you pretty much have a foundational level of what they're going to need, because most of these organizations are asking for similar things. They may have some outside things that may be in addition, but I'm pretty sure LaShaunda is the guru here. But when you have one of them, that's what I saw when I got one certification. Then I started to realize, wait a minute, I have a blueprint now of what I need. I just left it in the order that it had, and so when they're asking me for certain things, I already had it, so it made the process a lot. It made it some parts of it, was it challenging? Yes, but if you follow what LaShaunda said from the beginning, if you follow the steps and really read, because that's going to be key. Because if you can't follow the directions or get the certification, it's probably going to be very difficult for a procurement officer or someone who's on that award review team to see if you're going to follow the directions of doing what that government contract is going to require you to do. Because Aaron just mentioned that it's fine to win the contract, but can you execute it? Do you have the team? I think a lot of times too is that we go after the contract, but we don't do the follow-up. Just because you don't get it, it means that there's a next opportunity. There's ways for you to be able to go in, and what a lot of people don't know is when you don't get that contract, reach out, because you have an opportunity for them to be able to talk to them to see what is it that I need to improve on. Can you give me feedback? But one of the things that really helped me, and shout out to Kawana Dyson for being my government contracting coach, one of the things that she told us is that if you want to know and kind of get a blueprint of how to lay out the structure for your proposal, someone has probably already won that contract before you. Just what Aaron said. So you can request the documentation of that awarded contract. And so that way you can figure out, okay, what did they do? What is it that I'm missing? So you can have a comparison and to be able to see. So when that bid comes around again, I think a lot of times, and LaShaunda, please, I'll turn it over to you. A lot of times they don't forget this contract's going to end. So position yourself so that way when that contract comes back over, now you can throw your business back into the playing field and try to bid on that contract. Really get to know them. When they say no, get to know the procurement contractors. Start showing up for these events that they're putting online, because a lot of
I knew somebody was gonna say it. I just didn't want it to be me. What you have to do?
You gotta show up.
Oh my God!
I said you have to show. I said, you know what? You still have to do the work, but you also have to show up.
Treat it like an all-white party.
Yes, because right. And so I think that's going to be the thing, because a lot of the primes and a lot of the other subcontractors that I've been able to connect with is because I showed up. But I also did what LaShaunda and Aaron talked about is I know my area of genius. And so I know my area of genius. So I did a joint venture with someone else, so that way we can go.
Wait a minute, hold on. Are we talking about collaborations too?
You can't do it all. You can't. And so and of course, Aaron and LaShaunda have much more experience than me, but I just know that just what they said, there is a blueprint. Like they said, success leaves clues, and government contracting has left clues. But are you willing to go in and show up and do the work and apply for those certifications? Because those certifications, puts you in a higher tier to be able to get there. Because let's just say because we're in Texas, getting that hub certification, paying that extra.
That's where I wanted to go. Let's talk about the certifications.
Paying that extra $70 to get on the CMBL list. Yes, the hub certification is free, but put yourself where you can really be able to get access. So that way now you have things. $70 can keep you from 70,000, 700,000, and 70 million. Pay the $70, invest into yourself, do the work, and it's going to pay back. It may be slow and steady, but this is a way for you to really be able to get into a position where you can really be able to add another, Aaron and George be here, to add another stream of income to your work. And it's a lot of work up front. And will it be a lot of work when you execute that contract? But I promise you, all of the things that you're doing right now is going to pay off. It took me time to put all that proposal together, but it took me 4 hours to put it together. But this contract, I don't have to do the work until the third quarter. I want it in the first quarter. So I can count those things and start to kind of really think about that same contract. The procurement officer reached out and said, hey, there's an extension project. There's an extension on this through 2022. So I filled it out. So when you start to really get yourself and put yourself out there and really get to connect with these procurement officers, connect with people like LaShaunda, sign up and really figure out how TruFund can really help you to truly fund your future, then it's going to really pay off in the end. So I'll turn it over to LaShaunda because I know she has some tea, and Aaron's sitting there like this. I love his whole face. He's like, I can't wait for me in the game.
I want to make sure y'all took the lessons from that, because I always over summarize it and say progress is a process. So This is what I hope you took from that. Number one, you have to be willing to do part of the work. These certifications, I guess, is the part that intimidate people, but it makes the government contracting part so much easier, because now it's almost like putting yourself on a preferred list, a VIP list, if you would. Then the second thing was, she said you have to work with other people. Too many of you are trying to go alone. The solopreneur thing will only get you so far. I think you have to show up is another one that she threw out there. You have to be where people that are talking about money and doing business are. And they're not at the all-white party. That's what they do after the business is done. And Aaron's sitting there like he's about to explode. Go ahead and let it rip, Aaron. He's like, ooh, I can't wait to go to
Aaron, I'm waiting because I love his face. Like
LaShaunda first.
I love it. I love all of it. So many things that Sharita just shared and that you summarized, George. That's really important. But first, I'm getting a lot of feedback. I don't know if others are or if it's just on my side, just FYI.
No, it just started over here at some point and I hadn't figured out why. And I was like, okay, can I mess with it because we're live? But when we go to commercial break, I'm going to see if I can figure that out.
All right. Well, then I'll just jump right in. So on the certification piece, certifications are very important at every level, at your municipal level, at your state level, at the federal level. There are various certifications that apply to you. Don't go running this is me speaking. Don't go running out getting every single certification you've ever heard of, because you will be spending lots of time and resource signing up for things and getting certified in ways that might not necessarily directly benefit or apply to your business, right? And so, as Sharita mentioned, know your lane, be clear about what that is, and then identify the certifications that truly align with the type of business, product, or service that you offer, so that you are really maximizing your time. There's something called opportunity cost. And when you're spending your time doing things that don't have a large return, it's ultimately a waste, right? So really being clear and spending the time to do the research on the front end is going to save you time on the back end, rather than running around every time someone mentions a certification, going to get it just because you can. That isn't necessarily the best and highest and best use of your time. So being clear about what certification applies to you. For example, at the federal level, there are various set-asides that are available to small businesses that meet that are eligible for and able to secure certain certifications, such as the Women-Owned Small Business Certification that is specifically available to women-owned businesses that are owned at least 51% more by a woman. There are also veteran set-asides. There are set-asides for small businesses. There are set-asides for financially disadvantaged small businesses. There are various certifications that are available, and then specific set-asides, which mean these dollars are only available to those individuals who have received that specific type of certification. The same with the city level. It was mentioned before, if you're able to apply for and secure a certification at any of these levels, you essentially have the core package that's needed, right? There might be a few pieces here or there that you may need to add or subtract for a particular certification, but ultimately you have your package together, you kind of move forward and take it to whichever of these certification sources that apply. I will also say, as George mentioned, you don't have to do everything alone, right? There's a TruFund that you can come to learn about these various aspects of being a quality contractor, or how to take your contracting to that next level. There are also other partners that we work with, like the Minority Supplier Development Councils. There's one in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's one in the Houston area. They actually do specific certifications at the municipal and state level that you can actually go to these individuals or businesses, nonprofit entities, and they can actually help you to secure that specific certification. So there are lots of resources out there for small businesses. There's no need for you to sort of, bump around in the dark. You can turn the light switch on simply by knocking on the door of any one of the various organizations that are in the community that are designed and set up specifically to help businesses, especially those who are entrepreneurs of color, women-owned businesses in what are considered lower moderate income communities. There are many, many resources available. Being able to look at past awards that have been made before you submit your request or your proposal is a great way to have a sense of, are you on the right track? Have you included all of the pieces that are truly necessary? And that piece around instructions, if they say have a blue paper clip on page 2, have a blue paper clip on page 2, because that is an easy way for them to sort out those who don't follow instructions and those that do, to move on to actually be read and to be considered, right? So, you got a green paper clip on page 5, you're going to the side and they're not even going to see what might be a fantastic, very competitive proposal. So really being clear about what the requirements are, having the appropriate certification, and spending your time and your research on the front end to know, is this the right opportunity for my business? Is this the right certification for my business? And do I have the capacity to do this work? And if not, doing the homework to get that level of capacity prior to is really important. And Sharita mentioned something that's really key: relationships, right? So we think about these contracts as you're going to get them with these large entities, and we don't think about the humans that are associated with these entities. These are people who are in these positions making these decisions. And so it's your job to know who these people are, to build a relationship with these people so that they know who you are and what your capacity is and how you can help them to achieve their goals in terms of whatever their objectives are for that particular opportunity. And then also the team, right? So most times when you're submitting an application, it's not just about you, the entrepreneur, the owner. They want to understand what is your business capacity. And so there really should be a team that's included and presented in your proposal so that you can truly demonstrate your level of operation. And the team doesn't always mean you have a full-time employee, right? So there are lots of ways. There are lots of ways to include your team without having full-time employees. So really look specifically at what is needed and what is in your network, and that are actually a part of your team that will help you to ultimately execute on those contracts.
Erwin, you got it.
Thank you. First of all, we're definitely gonna get into what they were saying about teams. But this one, and I'm gonna dog some people out, not really, but if you're listening and you're guilty of this, you'll know. I don't have to call any names. It's called the subcontractor mentality. Okay, at a certain level, when you are going after these government contracts, you have to want it. You have to not be waiting for a phone call. You have to not be the type that's going to sit there and hope that somebody just picks you. You have to go out and you have to hunt. What everyone was saying about networking with people, I mean, when I first started getting into that whole thing, I would go to pre-bid meetings just to see who was there. After a couple of different pre-bid meetings in kind of the same area, I was interested in heavy construction. After a couple of heavy construction pre-bid meetings, you see the same 5 companies. So what do? They know that you're small. I mean, you're not an $8 billion a year company. Yes, you're small compared to them, right? But all you do is show up. Once they see you showing up, you start a conversation with the same guys. I mean, they're the same ones because each one of those guys has a regional, it's like a, oh God, what is it? Like Asplund will have a regional representative, and that regional representative will go to all the pre-bid meetings for all the contracts that Asplund is interested in for all of these cities in this area, right? So it's the same guy going city to city to city to city. If you're showing up to those pre-bid meetings, you're going to get to know him whether or not you want to, okay? Just because, that applies to everything. But also, to what someone was saying earlier about getting the feedback on the documents where there's already something there. All those documents are public, like they're public record. If you were going to, like for instance, and I love my lawn mowing contract because that was actually where I started. A lawn mowing contract, right? The city of Dallas is going to offer up a lawn mowing contract. You're not in a vacuum, okay? TruFund is going to have seen the city of Dallas lawn mowing contract before. Somebody has somewhere. The city of Dallas offers it up every year because the lawn has to get mowed every year. You go up to the city of Dallas and you say, hey, can I get a copy? And yes, you have to do some legwork, but you have to go out, find out, can I get a copy of the last bid submitted for this contract? They're going to say, sure, give us 10 days. In 10 days, you're going to have a nice little document that was the last winning bid for the city of Dallas and their lawn mowing contract. You can copy that thing almost piece for piece, except for the prices and your capability and all that other stuff. But it's like all of that stuff is already built. The cities don't do anything in a vacuum, okay? God, what was I going to say? Example. This is an example of the subcontractor mentality, okay? I had a gentleman that I was trying to help. We were trying to get something going here, and the guy does fencing, right? So he does fencing, and I called him one day, hey, I've got a contract in front of me. I'm not going to put this on my show because I want to call you and give you first dibs on it because I can do that. I don't have to be fair. So I called him and I said, I don't want to put this on the show. I want to give you the opportunity to come in. You help me with this. We can put the contract together and we can get it submitted. This way I'm not giving it to all my listeners, so at least it decreases your competition. Okay. He tells me that he's out on a job, right? He's out on a $7,000 fencing job in some random city. I needed him to sit down and give me numbers for my project. My project was a $500,000 fencing job for an airport. Fencing. They just wanted fencing. Granted, it was like 5 miles of fencing, but fencing, right? I could not get that man to sit down and give me the numbers that I needed just to quote the job. It's like, dude, I can do everything else. I need you to quote the job because I don't know your industry. Could not get him to do it. And I'm just like, if you want to stay in the subcontractor mindset, where people come to you with pre-made jobs and just say, this is what I'll give you to come do that, that's fine. I can't do it. I'm not going to go out there and learn fencing just so that I can quote this job for you and you can go perform on it. So that was the last time I talked to him. You're talking about why more people don't get into it. It takes a certain person to want it.
That's true. That's true.
Gotta want it. The certifications we talked about, we're going to get into that some more right after this. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You guys make sure you shoot your questions in. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about opportunity. We have some experts in the building ready to answer your questions. Go ahead and put those in there on social media, YouTube, and whatnot, so we can get those questions asked while they're here and available to you. Because first, and let me just say this before we go to commercial break. Thank all of you, because these are some really busy folks. And they have a lot going on. And the fact that, you know, when I called to give them a date, like even LaShaunda, like even changed her schedule. She's like, yeah, George, I got you. Hey, it means a lot to me, you know. So thank you guys for being here. We'll be back right after this.
Finding your brand space in this ever-changing economy can be challenging to new and established businesses. Graphic Line Media can help launch your business's brand potential to unknown places with creative revisioning that relentlessly presses the competition. From graphic design, web, print, apparel, media, and social, we have something designed to grow your business. Don't hesitate. Rule your space. Visit Graphic Line Media at graphiclinemedia.com or join our Facebook page at Graphic Line Media to get special discounts and offers.
Get behind the shield.
We're back. So I hope you guys got your questions ready and everything. So what we're going to talk about right now is some of these certifications that are out there. LaShaunda mentioned earlier, you shouldn't run out and just grab everyone that you may qualify for, but kind of do a little bit of legwork to determine if they actually work for you. So who's up first and want to talk about some of these certifications?
You know, you left off with Aaron. Aaron, yeah, so I'll say Aaron.
I'll offer my two. And they're the big two, the ones that, because again, I operate in this area. And so the ones that commonly come up are, I think, like NCTRCA, North Central Texas Regional Contracting Authority, and the MSDC, Minority Supplier Development Council. I think those are the two biggest ones. So if you go register with them as a minority contractor or a minority supplier, then most of everyone in this area will take it. Again, I'm not going to say that I speak for 60 cities, but in the 60 cities that I've reviewed, they were fine with NCTRCA and MSDC.
Awesome. And I'm loosely familiar with like the hub certifications and the MWE, but have you experienced any of the ones with SBA?
I have to say I'm familiar with them. I will say, and Aaron, please don't feel like you're cutting me off. What I have learned, because I just finished the federal program, I did FedMap. It's a program that's through the SBA. It is free, especially if you're in a minority business. and it's the 7J, J is in jump, the 7J program. It was absolutely amazing if you want to really connect with others who are looking into federal contracting, or you want to learn about moving your business. You haven't gotten to the federal program yet, and you want to really be able to take advantage of that. And they had a wealth of knowledge there, I would say. And I did talk to my cohort's professor just to say, just before this, to confirm, and Aaron, I can let you know because you're talking about 60 cities, it is available, the Fed map. So it's fedmap.com. It is available in every, it's across the country. So if you are thinking about doing business with the federal government, I would highly, highly recommend it. It has been absolutely amazing. Another one that I would say, especially for veterans, which Aaron knows, if you're a veteran-owned business, it makes sense for you to look after if that is in alignment with your business. The veteran certifications are always great. The minority business enterprise, which is the MBE, and also just looking at your local, because here in Houston, because I'm in Houston, if you go through and get your MBE, that connects you with the city of Houston, Metro, which is our largest rail system and bus transportation here, and that also connects you with the Houston city of Houston. The Houston Community College. So that one certification can really help position you in a really great way. So that is the next certification that I'm going after. But one of the ones that I did for myself is to make sure that I got the WOSB, Woman-Owned Small Business, and of course they do have the one for the disadvantaged woman-owned, EDSOWB. Yeah, so it's the alphabet soup. But just what LaShaunda said, make sure that you look at what works for you and not try to go after everything, because in that federal program, I did see a lot of people say, I got all the certifications and I really haven't done anything with them, because I didn't have a track on what to do, because I was trying to do everything without seeing what was going to be beneficial for me. So I said, as someone who used to work for the government, I wanted to do business with the state of Texas. So that was my focus, my primary focus, so I can get a couple of contracts under my belt and then be able to move to that, instead of trying to do everything and try to just throw everything out there. It could work and you could get something, but I knew I just had a direct focus. So I could agree with what LaShaunda said. See what works for you, because you don't need everything, but also look in your local city as well to see if you're wanting to do business with your local city, what they require. And from that, I think a lot of times, and I'm going to leave this to the experts, Aaron and LaShaunda, corporate contracting is something as well. And I don't think a lot of people look at that. I love corporate contracting, and I will let you know, Denny's is on the corporate contracting list. Facebook, you would be surprised what businesses that you can do that accept those government contracts. Like corporate contracting is one that I would say definitely look at. Finalizing the one that I'll turn it over to Aaron, 8A. But what I learned in that federal program is when you're getting new into the you're new into government contracting, it is probably that you get with the experts like LaShaunda and Aaron before you jump directly into 8A, because 8A is like a one and done program. You have a certain period that you're able to stay in that 8A program, and you don't want to lose time because you're trying to get your feet wet. And then by the time that you do start to secure those contracts, because the 8A program is to really supercharge your business. So that's where you want to kind of get into those multi-million dollar contracts. You really want to go to the next level. So really just utilizing that before you just jump into the AA would be one of the things that I would say. Just try to definitely take a journey, follow LaShaunda, get with Aaron, to make sure that your government contract journey makes sense to your business, not just in your mind, but it really has to make sense to your business.
And I think on that, in order to do that, you have to have a clear mission and vision about what you want to go after. Sharita kind of exposed my bag a little bit early, because I was going to talk about the corporate contracting part, but I wanted to show you guys that in getting prepared to work with the government, somehow you just automatically become qualified and prepared to work with these corporate contracts because it forces you to have your ducks in a row. And going back to the part about the different designations and whatnot, again, be clear, but here's the catch-22. Some of these certifications, the reason it puts you on what I call the VIP list is because these other bigger companies get out of the subcontractor mindset, like Aaron said, but some of these bigger companies get a tax incentive to work with businesses that have these designations. Ask me how I know. LaShaunda, I don't know if we're back here yet. We wanted to get into a little bit about your program, but it was kind of like disturbing. Like, LaShaunda has this program. It's free to you. It's not free. Somebody's paying for this. It takes you from inception to completion in positioning your business. I don't remember if she said June 10th or July 10th.
No, June 10th. I
June 10th. Personally, I think it's a damn shame that she has 2 spots left or a couple of spots left. Like she should be
sold out.
She should have a couple of waiting lists.
Right.
You know, but that's the thing. It's not even a sellout. It's an application. And the fact that she has a couple of spots left means that you guys don't want what you say you want. You know, I got the experts here so they can give you information and I can talk trash to you. This is just what I do.
So George.
So I want to, so if y'all have a moment, I was going to say, I don't know if I was interrupting somebody, but let's, I want to speak on that little 8A program here real quick, as well as some of the corporate contracts. So for starters, thank you for mentioning the 8A program, because that one's hilarious. People need to know, like when she said supercharge your business, what the 8A program is designed to do is direct millions of dollars into your business. You have like, I can't remember the time period, and I can't remember
10 years.
10 years. And what's the dollar amount limit? I think it's like, is it 5 million or 10 million?
I don't recall, and I think it depends on your NAICS code.
Oh, she is there. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it depends on your business.
Gotcha. Okay, so 10 years, and kind of depending on your business will determine your kind of cap out limit. But the government says if you're a part of this program, you have access to these certain set asides for contracts, and we will shove money into your business up until this like multi-million-dollar limit, right? And then you're kicked off the program, like she said, you know, one and done. But like, that is absolutely the most phenomenal thing I have ever heard. It's just, here's the deal. We aim to get 5% of the billions of dollars that we spend in federal contracts. And out of that and out of those billions of dollars, we're going to make sure that at least several billion or hundreds of millions are going specifically into this program. If you're a part of that program, you don't even compete with the general populace. Like, it just goes straight to AA, and that's it. Like, it is amazing. And people can, you know, do the paperwork and the legwork that requires to get into it. The other thing is that, again, sorry, I'm predominantly construction, so it is what it is. But the corporate contracts, I think someone mentioned Denny's has a corporate contract. I went to one networking event where Chase put it on, because whenever Chase builds a new branch, they have this thing about, well, we want to, you know, make sure that we've got minority contractors and all this, because Chase, like a lot of those larger companies, they have that, number one, they take government money periodically every so often, so they have to kind of do what the government says, which is use your power for the good of the people. For better or worse, like, you at least have to open it up to minority contractors. Okay, however you do that's fine, but you got to at least give them an opportunity. But also, Chase had, like, companies like Chase, they also have that kind of social responsibility where they have customers from all walks of life. So it would be rather unfair and kind of two-faced with them if they were to only have a group of contractors that was of one particular color, right? So there's plenty of opportunities with larger institutions. I know that over here it's Chase, Parkland. Parkland is a huge one, and they have their own contractor portal that you can access and go see what's going on over at Parkland. Several of the larger hospital systems, like I would imagine that Baylor would have a similar system, even though I haven't checked. I know that Golden Chick, so a lot of the restaurant franchises, the ones that keep popping up, they have those types of contracts because they deal with one. I don't remember. I think we just call them prime contractor, but they have a prime contractor, and it's the prime contractor's job to kind of go out there and manage all the subs for all the franchises and all the additional corporate locations that are popping up. So if you see a franchise that's saying, you know, we're the fastest growing franchise in this, that, and the other, go see if they've got a contract. Go see if they want a, you know, permanent contractor. That's a great source of work.
Awesome. Before we leave out, I want to make sure we give you guys this information because I don't want you to have an excuse. LaShaunda, if you can hear me, I wanted to get that information for everybody to do the application for their program that's starting on June 10th. It's called True Access, correct?
Correct. So the program is taking place June 10th through July 8th. It's a weekly program. It's 3 hours each week. We bring to you subject matter experts in various areas that really help you to thoroughly understand each module and to understand what components and aspects of your business that you need to get in order. And we support you in pulling some of those things together. For example, your capability statement, and also understanding what are the best ways to go about responding to bids and RFPs. And we cover quite a bit of other topic areas that are related. But it's a great program, free to you, June 10th through July the 8th, 5:30 to 8:30 each week in the PM. And George, I will send you the link for registration, and you are welcome to share it. The application will be closing soon, and we do only have several slots left. So folks should apply as soon as possible, and we will reach out and respond to let folks know who've been accepted into the program.
That is so awesome.
Also, if I could mention, you had talked about certifications, and one of the certifications mentioned was the WOSB, the Women-Owned Small Business Certification. We also have a Women in Business program. The third tier of that program is called Certify Her. And we actually help women to get the certification as well as learn how to leverage it for a variety of different opportunities associated with. So understanding how to market your business, connect with procurement officers, and to identify upcoming opportunities that align with your NAICS codes.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I was going to put up LaShaunda's email address, but I'm not going to do that after that comment. We're just going to tell you to go to TruFund.org. And later on, we will share the link when that comes over. But I am going to share Erin's email address because too often you guys come to me and you want things that you're putting the cart before the horse. Let me just say you want to have that consult with Erin about the proper procedures, you know, and stuff, because even though we're talking about the government contracting and this, that, and the third, starting way back with making sure you have things like the business bank account. And, you know, I mean, there's really just a pecking order to this thing, you know. And then Sharita, tell us about your coaching programs because you also offer. Matter of fact, I want to, LaShaunda, should be your next SME. I don't know if Jessica's tuned in, but she's right here in Houston, award-winning financial educator, and you have some projects going on right now too.
Yes, definitely, LaShaunda, I'd love to connect with you, but love to be able to make sure that you have your first business in order, and that's your household, because it's especially if you're an entrepreneur, you definitely want to make sure that your financial household is in order. So we make sure that we help you to truly be able to get on a good financial footing. Also help you to make sure that you build the right credit profiles, not the scores, because of the scores, an 800 credit score can still get you denied if your profile is not where it needs to be. And then to really be able to show you how to leverage it if you're thinking about entrepreneurship and how to do it in the right way, but to do it in a way where you have the finances in order to be able to invest into your business and to invest into experts like Aaron, because you're going to need them. You have to have a power team when you're starting, building, and growing a business. So definitely making sure that you connect with TruFund as well, because they're an amazing extension. And LaShaunda, you will be seeing me really share this with my platform as well and with my audience. So I would love to be able to help you guys to really get into a position where you can get opportunities like from a financial standpoint, a credit standpoint, but you know, as George knows, I'm all about business credit and ensuring that you build it right, because a lot of times entrepreneurs or individuals who are trying to start a business, they are using their own monies, and I believe at a certain point you need to OPM and operate on other people's money. And that's why I'm a government contractor. So with that, I would love to be able to help you. You can reach me at Sharita at SharitaMHumphrey.com, or go over to my website, SharitaMHumphrey.com.
And I've seen you just in 2021 put some people in the game. So
we are at over $3.4 million with helping entrepreneurs get access to capital, business credit, or in some type of capacity, whether that's capital, funding, grants, or business credit. So we're at 3.4 million as today.
Wow.
Well, George, this is LaShaunda. I'd love to jump in here and on the access to capital piece and remind folks that we are a lender first, right? So we offer this business education because we know that it's important, but we're first a lender. So we have many years of experience. We have many years of experience lending to small businesses. We're mission driven, and our experience in lending to contractors is extensive. So if you are in business and have been in business for at least 2 years, you have a credit score of at least 600, you have filed taxes and can provide your taxes and financial documents, and you have secured a contract with a government entity, and you are looking for funds to be able to mobilize or get started on that particular contract, whether it's to hire, whether it's to get the appropriate equipment or materials, we have specific contractor related loan products to help you do that. So you certainly can also reach out to me in regards to being able to access capital. I have several $1 million that I'm looking to put in the hands of small businesses within the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as well as the Houston metropolitan area. TruFund is participating in the SOAR, the Southern Opportunity and Resiliency Loan Fund. So if you've been impacted by COVID, which most of us have, if not all, then you may qualify for funds up to $100,000 through the SOAR fund. So I'll also include the link for that. You can apply through a particular link. You make sure you select TruFund as your lender and put in that application, and we'll be happy to follow up with you to see if you qualify for that program and to get those dollars in your hand. So we have several different products right now where small businesses can access capital, especially if you're an entrepreneur of color, especially if you're a woman-owned business, and especially if you're located in the South. So you are most certainly welcome to share my email address, George. I did put in the chat the link to our program application as well. I put my information on in terms of our website, as well as my LinkedIn information. So please do connect with me via LinkedIn or also via email. And so if you're not sure if you qualify, don't worry about that. Give us a call, have a conversation so we can understand your capital need. And if you're not ready quite yet, we can tell you how to get ready. So no doesn't always mean no. Sometimes it just means not now. And these are the things that you should do to come back for that yes. So don't give up before it's needed. And certainly tap into resources like TruFund. We're here to support small businesses in the Texas region, and we are happy to be a resource and connect you with other partners. As was mentioned, this is an ecosystem, right? And so there are many partners that we work with where you might have a need that's beyond or outside of the scope of what TruFund offers. We are happy to connect you there. And so, Sharita, I'd love to connect with you and with your network and make sure that folks are tapping into the resource of TruFund.
Okay, and LaShaunda, definitely let's talk about it, because I sit on the board for the University of Houston SURE program. We get about 1,000 applications every semester with minority entrepreneurs who are looking for this. So definitely love to talk to you about that, because we're planning for our fall semester. So definitely want to just use my own network with my own business, but also bring in those networks from the university standpoint as well.
Do I have the dopest ecosystem ever, or what? Like, do y'all see how that works? Like, it's beautiful, beautiful. Aaron, what would you like to leave everyone with?
The fact that I'm filling out this application here for the True Access.
Wait a minute, LaShaunda, save me a spot, because Aaron was cheating. Just let me get. He was cheating. We was up here being.
Call the home office, y'all.
Let's put that on the screen one more time. For those that may have missed it, this is the link for applying for that program. And guys, I mean, this is only one of the education programs that are available, and you hear the kind of networking and power that's going on in this. What I'm trying to tell you guys is two things. One, there's money out there for you to put your name on, but you have to start doing business the right way. So if you have not filed your taxes, or you have tax trouble, if you have, like, if you're making the mistake of quote unquote paying people under the table versus having true payroll system, and that complicated your PPP situation. If you just really need help tracking your expenses and whatnot, I mean, because like, I believe in making data-driven decisions, and some of you, I don't know how you get from point A to point B in business, whether or not you should invest in this thing or that thing, or whether or not an opportunity is right for you, because you don't have solid data to pick from, like to make a decision on that. So reach out to us at elite8financial.com. Let us help you put those things in order. And again, get that application information, because Aaron's already cheating and getting his over there, you know. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out for me again and providing everyone with this this powerful information. And we're going to put everyone's contact information in the Boss Talk Radio group on Facebook. So if you have not subscribed to the group, that's where you want to go to make sure that you stay in contact. And meanwhile, we're going to do a lot more business behind the scenes or whatever. We're going to make sure our team is connected. But I want to give props out to two very important people today, because I could not have done it on location without them. First and foremost, my director of operations, who had to play producer today, Natia DePlessis. She's behind the scenes working the camera stuff today, because I was like, this is going to be too intense for me to play with buttons. And she did a really, really great job. Y'all probably didn't even know it wasn't me, except for me talking across the thing like this. I apologize, Rita. I think I reached across you one time. And then also my baby boy, who's graduating on Monday with his new company, RSN 30 Productions. He's going to chop and screw through this whole situation and make it all presentable. So you'll be able to watch this program again and get this information over and over. It'll be available on our website at elite8financial.com within the next 30 days or so. And we want to make sure that you guys are elevating. Like I think it was Aaron that said, get out of the subcontractor mindset, but I also wanted to get you to get out of the side hustle mindset. If COVID did not show you anything else, it should show you that one, the jobs aren't loyal, and two, there's a lot of money to be made. All you have to do is figure out how to solve the problem. Any closing thoughts?
I'd say definitely, like you said, especially for those in Texas, we have a little bit of time left, June 15th. So if you're still trying to get everything out of your shoebox underneath the mattress, you haven't reached out, you're trying to figure out if this is an opportunity for you. Definitely, like LaShaunda said, see if you're looking for this, definitely, but you're going to need your business in order. I would say, you see Aaron is multitasking. So you see he's a rock star. He's a rock star in his things, in what he's doing. So definitely make sure that you connect with him. Thank you again, George, for having me back. I would love to be able to do this again. This has been absolutely amazing. I would look forward to helping and assisting LaShaunda and also Aaron with making sure that we continue to grow our ecosystem this year, because we can't do it alone. We can't build, we can't grow, and we definitely can't build wealth without one another. So I'm super excited to see where this ecosystem continues to go in 2021. So thank you for having me.
LaShaunda, you're up. Any closing thoughts?
Well, first of all, thank you, George. It is always a pleasure. I look forward to coming back and sharing more about TruFund as well as resources available to small businesses. I just want to say to those small businesses that are out there, keep your head up as well. Keep moving forward. As was said, when you show up, things happen. And when you're consistent, you start to see progress. And so if you're not sure about certain aspects of your business and you want to shore things up, reach out to TruFund. As I mentioned, we are a business advisory service offerer, if you will. So you can elevate your level of business education, but also, and maybe most importantly, access to capital, which is a huge, if not the largest barrier to being able to grow as a small business, is being able to access affordable and flexible capital. That is what we do. And so if you are looking for dollars to be able to grow and scale your business, you've been in business a couple of years, and you have filed those taxes, please do give us a call. We'd be happy to talk about your capital needs. And there are a few spots left in that True Access Contractor Education Program, and also in our Certify Her Women in Business program. So certainly reach out via email, lrene@trufund.org, or the link that was on the screen earlier. You can apply for those programs. So thank you so much.
And I want you guys to overwhelm LaShaunda with that. Before, like, I don't want her to have a 3-day weekend. Like, y'all should have so many applications in the next hour that she can't even take the weekend off. I'm just playing, LaShaunda.
Well, Aaron's already got his
Listen, George, I don't want us to have to fall out. It is a holiday weekend, but do apply.
Closing thoughts, Aaron? Can't hear him.
Confirmation.
Oh, there he is.
Okay. Number one, I actually received the confirmation that my application was received. So
save me a spot.
I mean, the type of knowledge that that True Access program is going to give is just the type of stuff that I collect. You know, I mean, even though I'm a litigator, one of my goals is to, get to the point where I can properly advocate for contractors on behalf of contractors whenever somebody says that they're doing something wrong. If you're doing it right and somebody says that you're doing it wrong, well, then that means that you're going to have to call me at some point in time. But also, I just want to, be there, be in the know, be around people that are of the same mindset. So I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it if I'm picked, of course. With that being said, No real closing thoughts outside of thank you, George. I got you. I mean, as soon as you told me, I'm just like, all right, give me a date and time, and let me make sure my schedule's clear, and I'm right there for you. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
LaShaunda, I did have a question that came up. Is the program virtual or in person?
Virtual.
Great.
Apparently,
we have a new spokesperson. I love it. It is a virtual program that is available. So if you have an internet connection via phone, via laptop, via tablet, then you should be able to access that program. Again, as I mentioned, it is 3 hours once a week for the next, or not next, but from June the 10th through July the 8th. And we look forward to connecting.
Awesome. Well, hey, what else can I say or add to that? We have a lot of interest on here. People are already talking about submitting their application. I want to wish you guys a phenomenal holiday weekend. Thank you for closing out your Friday with me. I'm in H-Town, Houston, for the weekend, and I will be crashing barbecues. So if you want kind of an inside track on your application, look that now. I'm just playing. Not really, but. So this has been your host, George Dandridge. Thank you to my co-host, Sharita, for hosting us today. And we will see you guys on Monday for Boss Motive. No, wait a minute. It's a holiday.
Are you coming?
I don't think I'm going to be able to do
Oh, I was like,
I'm going to have to go ahead and just see y'all on Tuesday for a tax tip. We're going to skip motivation this Monday. Your motivation should be the barbecue or something. See you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.